So the chapter Silk Road was going on. We started this chapter on Saturday. Fine. What is the chapter all about? It is written by Nick Middleton. We have already discussed this much. That is, the chapter is written by Nick Middleton, who was a geography teacher, and he was very much interested about traveling different areas, and he was a follower of Buddhism also. So what is shown in the chapter that he wanted to perform a ritual. Actually, what is ritual? एक जो हमारे रीति रिवाज बना देते हैं, that as he was a follower of Buddhism, so he wanted to perform a ritual. एक रिवाज था बुद्धिज्म से, बौद्ध धर्म से रिलेटेड, that was Kora. Fine. So he wanted to perform that ritual of Kora. And what is done in Kora? Kora के अंदर क्या जाता है actually? That is shown that as like if you think that when we go to a temple or when we go for a puja or worship, then we take some rounds around a different or particular area. हम चक्कर लगाते हैं किसी चीज के, परिक्रमा लगाते हैं. In Hindi you can, if you want to call it in a typical वाली Hindi, then you can call it a parikrama. Fine. So that is called, actually that kind of ritual it was. And when the writer went, actually the writer is describing his journey, that how hard his journey was and what kind of difficulty he faced when he went to perform Kora. And that is done actually. That Kora is done to into the area of Mount Kailash. Fine. And it is a mountain, and means most of the time for the in the year, it is most of the times it is covered with snow. So right now what the writer told us, the narrator told us in this chapter, that it is written in a travelogue form. Travelogue form में लिखा गया है कि कैसे उसका पूरा जर्नी शो किया गया है इसके अंदर. And he is telling us that he started his journey from Ravu. Ravu is the name of a place, and he started his journey from there. Lamo is a girl who gave a gift to the narrator. Fine. And why the name of the chapter is Silk Road? Because this whole journey is described on the Silk Road. He went with his guide, you can say. The name of his guide is Satin. And when he was going there to perform that Kora activity, the guide actually told him that they should go by the Silk Road. Fine. Why this road is called Silk Road, we have already discussed. Because the trading of silk was done between you can say that among the countries of Asia and Europe. Fine. So this much we have discussed already. What should be done right now? Satin seized me up. We have discussed till this much, that the girl Lamo has gifted a jacket that was made by sheepskin. Fine. That she has given to the narrator. Now when he was wearing that jacket, what was going on with him? We took a shortcut to get off that Chengteng. Satin knew a route that would take us southwest almost directly towards Mount Kailash. It involved crossing several fairly high mountain passes, he said, but no problem, sir. He assured us. If there is no snow, what was the likelihood of that? I asked. No, not knowing, sir, until we get there. So, what Satin has told about the route, when they wanted to grab that, when they wanted to continue their journey on Silk Road, we took a shortcut, he is saying, to get off the Chengteng. From Chengteng, they wanted to take a shortcut. Saturn knew its short route that would take us southwest, almost directly towards Mount Kailash. He was saying that that was the route actually. That route was so short and it would take us. Saturn was saying that that route would take them directly to the mount. That was called Mount Kailash. It involved crossings several fairly high mountain passes. What is mountain passes? The gap, the lower land that is between or among the mountains, from where we can easily cross an area, from where we can easily cross among the mountains. माउंटेन के बीच में जो जमीन जो नीचे होती है, नीचे वाली जो जमीन होती है, that is called passes. So he was saying that several crossings were there, several passes were there in that area, in that mountain area actually, and Saturn knew about those passes. Saturn was actually familiar about that area. उस area से बिल्कुल familiar था Saturn. That's why. Fine. He said, but no problem, sir. He assured us. Then Saturn was saying that Saturn was actually assuring the person that we could easily pass. We could easily pass that area with the help of those passes. If there is no snow, if the possibility is there that if there will be no snow, then we will be easily able to cross that area. What was the likelihood of that? I asked. The narrator was asking, as you are saying, if there will be no snow, so how much possibility is there that there will be snow or not? How you are assured about that? कैसे आप इतने sure हो कि वहाँ पर snow होगी कि नहीं होगी? So he was saying that not knowing, sir, until we get there, we cannot get any idea until we reach there. जब हम वहाँ पर पहुँच जाएंगे, only then I can, or only then we could know about that the snow is there or not. From the gently rolling hills of Ravu, the shortcut took us across vast open plains with nothing in them except a few gazeless that would look up from nibbling the arid pastures and frown before bounding away into the void. What the writer is saying? Just a second. Let me adjust that. From the gently rolling hills of Ravu. What is gently rolling hills? Where we are having a slow, you can say slope. There is some steep rocks also. Steep और light slopes में क्या अंतर है? What is the difference? Steep means जो एकदम सीधा खड़ा हुआ जो ढाल होता है, सीधा खड़ा हुआ जो mountain होता है, it is very typical to climb over that kind of mountains. But it was gentle rolls. Fine. And from the gently rolling hills of Ragu, the shortcut took us across vast open plains. There was gentle crossing. When they came across the plain vast area, when they came from Ravu, when they came outside of Ravu, where they have started their journey from. Ravu is the name of the place where they started their journey. And after crossing Ravu, they came into a plain area. Plain area means ground area में आ गए थे, with nothing in them except a few gazeless. And they were having nothing in them except a few gazeless that would look up from nibbling the arid pastures and frown before bounding away into the void. What they are saying, what the writer is saying means pastures क्या होता है? Pastures, that is grassy area. Fine. So when they came to a ground area that were having nibbling the arid pastures. Arid is called dry घास के dry grassy area था ये, जहाँ पर वो आ गए थे अब. And frown before bounding away into the void. And they were saying, he was saying that frown before bounding away into the void. further on where the plains became more stony than grassy. He was saying that it was bounding away into the void, means एक तरह से हम लोगों को बाउंड अवे कर रहा था, मीन्स हम लोगों को अपनी तरफ खींच रहा था, हम लोग उसको उसकी तरफ चलते जा रहे थे, क्योंकि ये एरिया जो था इट वॉज इजी टू अक्रॉस. It was because it was a plain area. When there is a stony area, then it is hard to cross that area. But as it was a grassy area, and it was easy to cross that area. Further on, when the plains became more stony than grassy, a great herd of wild ass came into view. Further on, however, they were continuously going on. And when they reach a little bit further, little bit ahead, what did they see? They see that now the stony area had started, means the stones were coming now, and then grassy area, means grassy area was you can say it was finished. Now the stony area had started. When they were passing through, a great herd of wild ass. What is herd? H-E-R-D, herd. H-E-R-D, herd. That is the group. You can say crowd of wild ass. A group of wild ass came into view, and they just noticed that a crowd or a group of wild ass came to their view. They could see. Fine. Satin told us we were approaching them long before they appeared. Kang, he said, pointing towards a far off pall of dust. Pall of dust means cloud of dust, you can say. Because these wild ass, the name of these wild ass were Kyang. Fine. And Satin, as already it is told in the chapter, that Satin was very much familiar with that area. Fine. So he knew already that wild ass that are called Kyang live in that area. So he told us we were approaching them long before they appeared. Satin was telling us that as he was imagining that Kyang would meet them, that is going on. He wanted to say. And he was pointing towards a far off pall of dust. And he pointed towards a cloud of dust. That's, yes, Satin was very much familiar about that area, and he knew already that a group of wild asses, that is called Kyang, would meet them. And because of that cloud of dust, he came to know that yes, Kyang has came in their view. Fine. When we drew near, I could see the herd galloping en masse, wheeling and turning in tight formation as if they were practicing maneuvers on some predetermined course. Plumes of dust billowed into the crisp, clean air. When we drew near, the writer is saying, as they have noticed, as already Satin noticed the cloud of dust, pall of dust, when they were going to that area, when they were going near about that area, I could see the herd galloping. Galloping is called, they were jumping and coming, running towards them. Jump करते हुए आ रहे थे, दौड़ते हुए आ रहे थे. En masse, masse means a crowd में, in a group. Wheeling and turning. Wheeling and turning means they were just moving in the different direction, wherever they wanted to go, in tight formation, as if they were practicing maneuvers. What is maneuvers? What is maneuvers? Different feats. If you have noticed, if you have seen any circus, different feats are shown by different kinds of animals, and you can say by joker in a circus. Fine. So maneuvers are different kinds of feats. जो different कलाबाजियां जो दिखाई जाती है, that they were practicing. The writer is saying, the narrator is saying that tight formation means they were in a group, and they were wheeling and turning and as if they were practicing maneuver, जैसे कि वो सर्कस की तरह, जैसे वो सर्कस में यूज किए जाने वाले एनिमल्स या फिर जोकर की तरह वो लोग प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हों on some predetermined course. Predetermined means already the course, already the area was decided that you have to practice according to these feats. Fine. Plumes of dust billowed into crisp, clean air. Now he was saying that when they were passing slowly and steadily, there plumes of dust मतलब जो ग्रुप था, जो dusty areas जो था, billowed into crisp, clean air. When they crossed that, it became crisp and clean air. First they just came across that dusty area where the group of ants, Kyang, was there, and when they crossed that, again crisp and clean air they came across. As hills started to push up once more from the rocky wilderness, we passed solitary dogbas tending their flocks. Sometimes men, sometimes women, they well-wrapped figures would pause and stare at our car, occasionally waving as we passed. When the track took us close to their animals, the sheep would take evasive action, veering away from the speeding vehicles. See what is going on. Now they have just closed the Kyang area, and as the hills were started now to push up once more from the rocky wilderness. Rocky wilderness means that that rocky area was wild also. Wild means different kinds of animals were there. That's why they are calling it wilderness. We passed solitary drogbas. What is drogbas? What is drogbas? The people who live in mountains. The people who live in mountains and solitary means जो वो एक निर्जन से एरिया में जो रहते हैं, mountain areas में रहने वाले लोग. That is called drogbas. So solitary drogbas tending their flocks. Tending their flocks means जो उनके flocks थे sheeps वगैरह के, जो उनके group थे, the animals they were having with them, they were grazing. Grazing means उस एरिया में उनको चराने के लिए लेकर आए थे actually. And they were, the narrator could see them, the narrator could see these drogbas, they were with their flocks, animals के flocks के साथ थे वहाँ, sometimes men and sometimes women. It was not compulsory that these were men only, some women were also there, and these well-wrapped figure would pause. Well-wrapped means they have wrapped themselves in a very particular way, as because it was a mountain area and it was too much cold in that area, so they have wrapped themselves very tightly, you can say, and they would pause when these drogbas saw the narrator and his friends. Then they would pause. They stopped for some time and stared at our car. They started looking continuously at our car. Staring होता है looking continuously at something. Fine. So they were looking continuously at our car, occasionally waving as we passed. As we were passing them, they were waving us. They were waving to us also. When the track took us close to their animal, the sheep would take evasive action. And when Satin was driving the car, and when their car was just moving towards the animals के पास से जब पास होने लगी, the sheep would take evasive action. Evasive means एक sharp turn लेकर जो sheep थे, as they felt कि जैसे ही कार उनके नजदीक आई, कार उनके पास में गई, they took a sharp turn and veering away from the speeding vehicle. As our vehicle speed was very much fast, so they just took a sharp turn and they went away from the car so that they could not it could not give them a harm. Fine. The topic, the time is over, so we will continue the chapter in tomorrow's class. Fine. This much is all about for today. Bye bye, all of you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome, dear.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome, beta.